Valentina Tereshkova, the first woman to go to space. This is her story. Valentina Tereshkova of Russia was the first lady to go to space. How did she accomplish that great achievement? She was always a simple and very humble child from a simple family. But at a very young age, she showed very hardworking and humble nature. She was very studious, hardworking, polite, and well mannered. No doubt, she was beloved by her friends and teachers because of her polite and well mannered ways. Now, she had this ambition to do something great in life. So, when she heard that Yuri Gagarin has gone to space for the first time, she also had this ambition to become the first woman in space. And she heard from a teacher in her class that there is application available to apply for anyone interested to become the first woman to go to space. So she was interested to become the first woman to go to space. So Valentina Tereshkova also applied for this prestigious honor, but she was not sure whether she would be selected. But she tried, and she had to go through a very rigorous training process. There were many, many participants. Those participants, those girls, failed in those rigorous tests. The tests were physically and mentally very demanding. But due to her hard work, her persistence, and patience, she overcame all those barriers. And she was selected for the final round. And in the final round, two women were selected. Coincidentally, both the women had the same name, Valentina. So, two Russian women, Valentina and Valentina, had gone on to the final round with equal score. Both were equally competent. Now, whom to select? The committee had a meeting with the president of Russia, and he decided that he will take an interview of both the ladies and he will select one of them. So, interview was called, and both the girls, both Valentinas, were called for the interview. And in this interview, Valentina Tereshkova, she went inside this room full of men smoking cigars and cigarettes, staring at her. She felt very uncomfortable, nervous, because after all, she was a young lady. She was never faced with such situations. But she maintained her composure. She sat down politely, smiled at them. She answered all the questions in a very polite and humble way. So, the committee was impressed not just by her training and academics, but also because of her polite manners, her positivity. So that's why the committee selected her to be the Russia's first woman in space. Then she was blasted off in a Soyuz rocket into space, and she orbited the Earth many times, singing the Russian national anthem all the way. When she landed back on Earth, she was treated like a Russian hero. She was a hero not just for Russian women, but for all the women in the world who saw Valentina Tereshkova as an example, a role model for what is possible for women to achieve. We must remember that Valentina Tereshkova achieved this success not just because of her academics, her competence, her scores, but also because of her humility and positivity. Years later, Russian President Khrushchev wrote in his book that the thing that inspired him to select Tereskova was, in fact, her good manners, her humility, and positivity. So, in life, these inner qualities are equally important as your performance.